So when you're working as a photographer, videographer, content creator, anything like that, there might be certain things your editor can't do that might be slowing you down. And I think that's where something like Wondershare Uniconverter 16 can come into help. To me, it's more like a supplementary kind of thing to go along with your photo or video editor of choice. It can do a bunch of random, utility things like converting or compressing video files, or helpful things like auto reframing for content creation, helping restore old photos, and a whole smorgasbord, random smattering of tools and things like that. And that's what we're gonna go over today. One of the big things I wanted to do was explore the best tools in each of those categories. And while this is a sponsored video, I actually did really find this to be a useful and pretty dense piece of software that does just an absolute ton of stuff. I'm gonna try to cover what this software actually does, who it might be for, and generally how I've been using it recently. There's essentially two main types of tools in Wondershare Uniconverter 16, and those are one, traditional software-based tools. They work pretty much straightforward. When it comes to the more intensive stuff like generating images or text or even voices, writing scripts, enhancing or stabilizing or whatever with video, that is going to be all AI powered. Anyway, let's get into some of the features I've been using and testing out on Wondershare Uniconverter 16, starting with photo. So for photographers, what are we really looking at here? Well, if you are like me, these photographic tools are probably nice, but probably not something you're going to get the software just for them. But for doing casual photography, playing around with these different tools, it's definitely a nice bonus for people who work with images in any capacity. There's kind of four main options moving into the photo tab, and they are image enhancer, converter, background removal, and a thumbnail generator, which is kind of like just a classic prompt image generator. The utility of the converter for transferring images or like those weird iPhone files and stuff like that is definitely something I occasionally need to use. The biggest thing here I have been using though is the image enhancer, which is really 6 tools into one. So having an easy and fast image converter that can do batch images is definitely handy. But the biggest thing here I've been using is the image enhancer, which is really 6 tools in one, since it can enhance or repair different types of images. The regular enhancer is nice for lower quality or grainy or blurry images, removing the grain, highlighting certain edges and things like that, just to make it look good for social media or things like that. Although I have to say the actual upscaling is a little bit picky on your resolutions more than the normal enhance. I did end up getting some good results and saving a ton of time with the old photo restoration stuff. So between the old photo repair and the colorizer, plus, and in full disclosure, some manual work in Photoshop, I was able to get a pretty solid restored photo while skipping over some of the more tedious steps in the process. And I think this final result ended up really, really nice. And it was a great gift for my partner's family, who either haven't seen this photo for years and definitely have never seen it in such a good condition. Next is going to be tools for videographers and filmmakers, which is the real meat and potatoes of this software in a lot of ways, with our categories of video and audio tools, which kind of come in 2 flavors, just like everything, the AI powered and non-AI powered stuff. These things can smooth out errors, improve video quality potentially, or even do some basic important stuff like compressing videos to fit on a website, or converting different video formats to make them run smoother or work with different formats. Image enhancements and upscaling and things like that can be handy here as well. There's a ton of creative stuff like frame interpolation for slow motion. I think professional videographers and filmmakers will enjoy the utility of having all the things you may need for specific clients all in one place. The compressor, converter, DVD burner for the times you might need that, a watermark tool for sending out proofs, and the ability to create short voiceover with an AI generated voice.
Depending on what you do, I can definitely see some kind of voiceover for certain things, for content creators as well as videographers.
And there are actually a lot of great options here with 6 categories and 3 voices each.
Or to, make a version of a script a little bit different by prompting the AI to write a script based on something. Like, there's just a lot of tools that We might not use all the time as a professional videographer, but will come in handy from time to time, and maybe more often than you might think now that you know you have them at your disposal. So the idea of having that Swiss Army knife of random tools, both AI powered and software based, is I think the biggest strength here for professionals. So for like the converter, for example, of course it does its namesake, which is, well, converting, specifically like that batch converting video, which is going to be something most videographers are doing on a pretty regular basis. Whether it's converting clips before editing and post-production, sending it to people out, there is a lot of reasons you might need to convert videos from clients or who knows what. The compressor also works incredibly well here. I know when using Adobe, it's always kind of a guessing game, especially for me. It's not really a super seamless experience when batch exporting or trying to reduce clips or file size. I know personally I have been using this a lot recently in Uniconverter for building my website, as I want the highest quality videos without the possibility of my site slowing down with really huge exports and final videos. So being able to kind of compress and break down my videos to run as smooth as possible on my website while retaining pretty good quality, that's been incredibly helpful and something I've actually been using a lot. And that's not AI powered at all, so you can do that as much as you want. And of course, there is a ton of other tools that may get a ton of use from you guys, or you may only use them occasionally, like a batch watermark tool and other random stuff like that, yeah, you never know. Also, I think personally, one of the biggest uses for Wondershare Uniconverter 16 is going to be for social media people, content creators, and influencers, whether that's your main work or a side thing like me. Something like just a subtitle editor, which lets you either plug in or generate subtitles for a video. Something really handy like screen recording. That's a feature I've been using a ton, making this and some previous videos, which has way better quality than something like QuickTime, or crashes and freezes my computer a lot less than something like OBS. There's an automatic crop feature I use all the time for posting social media, vertical videos, and can be used on individual videos or, entire edited pieces, which is honestly much faster than similar software I've used and does a pretty good job. And there's even things you might use a little less often or just for inspiration, like an AI generated script to get you started, or even an AI generated voiceover, depending on what you do. I can definitely see some kind of voiceover for certain things for content creators as well as videographers. So it's a pretty interesting tool to have, and I'm sure a lot of people will get really good use out of these things like scene detection or automatic highlights or batch adding and removing intros to things, and all sorts of little tools and tricks here. So that is Wondershare Uniconverter 16 and some of the ways I've been using it day to day in my filmmaker, content creator business journey. And they have an editing software too, but a lot of people are really ingrained in their editing software of choice. And so this Uniconverter having these more supplementary tools in addition to something like Premiere or DaVinci, it's really like a Swiss Army knife when it comes to all that additional stuff that your software of choice might not exactly have access to or care about adding anytime soon. Like, it's kind of insane that Adobe doesn't have any form of noise reduction or a better, faster auto crop or things like that. Wondershare is actually doing that stuff, and I think that makes it a really handy and powerful tool in the right hands. And while it does come with a few subscription options, like I said, there's a perpetual license as well, which I know people using certain other softwares are desperately wishing was an option. And in the case of Wondershare, that is an option to just buy it once and own it. The mix of traditional and basic tools like screen capturing, compressing, and converting, mixed with this entire new element of AI-powered tools, make this one of the most versatile pieces of software I have seen recently. And if it's right for you, I really recommend checking out their site, some of the pricing options they have. And I just want to thank you guys again for watching. Thanks for Wondershare for sponsoring this video. Like, comment down below if you have questions and things you would want me to try out or test or ask these guys for an answer for clarification. I think this is actually a pretty neat piece of software, and some of these features I feel like I'm going to be using a lot. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys. And if you are subscribed to this channel, I'll see you when I see you.